For thousands of years, gold and silver have captivated humanity, symbolizing wealth, power, and beauty across cultures. From the treasures of ancient Egyptian pharaohs to their prominent roles in today's financial markets, these metals have been woven into the fabric of human history. Gold, with its eternal luster, and silver, with its purity, have served not just as currency, but as objects of desire and reverence. In this video, we will dive deep into the historical significance of gold and silver, exploring their influence on trade, currency systems, and the cultural values of ancient and modern civilizations.
This is God's money. This is what God's money looks like.
Yeah.
The reason I call it God's money is you can't fake it.
Early discovery and mythology of gold and silver. The first known discovery of gold and silver dates back over 6,000 years in the Middle East, particularly in regions such as Mesopotamia and Egypt. Initially, these precious metals were valued primarily for their aesthetic qualities and were used to create decorative jewelry, religious artifacts, and symbols of power. In ancient mythology, gold was often associated with gods, kings, and immortality. For instance, in Egyptian belief, gold was considered the flesh of the gods, symbolizing eternal life. On the other hand, silver held associations with purity and the moon. Early Mesopotamian civilizations began using silver in early forms of trade and currency, setting the stage for its later economic significance. As civilizations developed, gold and silver became integral to religious and social practices, growing beyond mere ornamentation to form the backbone of early economies. Gold and silver in ancient civilizations.
Gold has the sense of that where it comes across the centuries in its original state.
In ancient Egypt, gold was revered as the flesh of the gods, symbolizing eternal life and the divine. The Egyptians used gold to adorn tombs, temples, and religious artifacts, particularly in the tombs of pharaohs such as Tutankhamun. Its abundance in the region and cultural importance meant it was reserved for the elite and religious figures, reinforcing its status as a symbol of immortality. In Mesopotamia, silver took on a more practical role. The Mesopotamians were among the first to use silver as a currency in early barter systems. Greece followed, utilizing both gold and silver for coinage, which played a crucial role in facilitating trade across its territories. The Greeks also saw silver as a major commodity, especially in Athens, where silver mines helped fuel their economy. The Romans further expanded the use of both metals in currency. They introduced the denarius, silver coin, and the aureus, gold coin, which became the foundation of their monetary system. These coins helped the Roman Empire facilitate widespread trade and solidified its economic dominance across Europe, Africa, and Asia. Gold and silver in religious and cultural traditions. Throughout history, gold and silver have played significant roles in religious and cultural traditions. In the Bible, both metals are often referenced as symbols of wealth, divine favor, and spiritual purity. Gold is described as a gift to Jesus by the three wise men and as the material used to construct the Ark of the Covenant. In Eastern cultures, particularly in Hinduism and Buddhism, gold and silver symbolize prosperity, purity, and spiritual enlightenment. Gold is frequently used in religious icons, temples, and festivals, while silver is associated with purity and the reflection of divine light. In medieval Europe, both metals held immense religious significance in Christianity. Gold and silver were used to adorn churches, create religious artifacts, and embellish objects like chalices and crosses. These metals were believed to reflect the divine beauty of God and were considered essential in representing the majesty and glory of religious figures. The lavish use of gold in religious settings underscored its association with spiritual and material power, reinforcing its role as a symbol of both the sacred and the secular. The role of gold and silver in currency and trade. Around 600 BCE, the first gold and silver coins were minted in Lydia, modern-day Turkey, marking the beginning of formalized currency systems.
We have what are, so far as we can tell, the earliest coins ever produced. They were made in the area of Lydia. They were produced probably by the Lydian kings in that area.
These coins became an efficient medium for trade, representing value and allowing for easier transactions. The Lydians pioneered the use of electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver in their coins, setting the stage for other civilizations to adopt coinage as a basis for their economies. During the medieval period, gold and silver were the backbone of economies across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Trade routes like the Silk Road were heavily reliant on these precious metals, which facilitated exchanges of goods such as spices, silk, and textiles. Gold and silver acted as a universal medium of exchange, trusted across cultures for their inherent value. In the 19th century, the gold standard emerged as a monetary system, where countries backed their currencies with fixed quantities of gold. This system aimed to stabilize global trade by anchoring currency values to a finite resource, ensuring predictability in international exchanges. The gold standard also played a key role in global trade relations until the 20th century. In parallel, some countries adopted the silver standard or bimetallism, using both gold and silver to back their currencies. In the United States, this debate became central to economic policy, with supporters of bimetallism arguing that it would provide greater monetary stability. The age of exploration and the gold and silver rushes. The Spanish conquests of the Americas were largely driven by the pursuit of gold and silver. Upon discovering vast amounts of precious metals in Aztec and Incan civilizations, the Spanish aggressively sought to control these resources, fueling European expansion. The extraction of gold and silver from the Americas enriched Spain and reshaped European economies. The California gold rush of 1848 saw a mass migration of prospectors in search of fortune. Thousands flocked to California, transforming the region and accelerating the development of the American West. The gold rush not only brought wealth, but also opened new trade routes and opportunities. Similarly, the Klondike gold rush of 1896 in Canada attracted tens of thousands of prospectors to the remote Yukon region. Despite the harsh environment, the promise of gold lured fortune seekers, leading to significant economic and social changes. The silver rushes, particularly the discovery of the Comstock lode in Nevada, marked one of the largest silver deposits ever found. This event contributed to the global supply of silver and significantly impacted mining technologies and economies. Gold and silver in modern times. The gold standard was largely abandoned in the 20th century, particularly after World War I, as countries struggled to maintain fixed currency values. The United States officially left the gold standard in 1971, severing the link between gold and the US dollar, allowing currencies to float freely. Today, gold and silver are primarily used in jewelry and industrial applications. Gold's conductivity and resistance to corrosion make it valuable in electronics, while silver's antibacterial properties are essential in medical equipment. In times of economic uncertainty, gold and silver are considered safe haven assets. Investors often turn to these metals to protect their wealth during market volatility, as both metals tend to retain their value when other assets decline. As we move into an increasingly digital and environmentally conscious world, the role of gold and silver remains vital, whether as investments or as symbols of enduring value. Will these precious metals continue to hold their status in a rapidly changing world, or will new forms of wealth emerge to take their place? Share your thoughts in the comments below.